Feed 'em sessions.
Yes, family, it's Unique Creation. You're listening to Feed 'em Session. Make sure you stay locked in, yeah? Stay locked in.
And we've also earlier played Rising by Unique Creation, who's actually in the building right about now. Everybody welcome Unique Creation to the building.
Yeah. Don't forget, we also played Outro by Feed 'em.
Yes.
You can't miss
Forgot
that.
that one still, man. You forgot it.
Yeah.
There, man. Unique Creation, man. For those that are listening, obviously, here's family. We all know who you are. And for those that don't know who you are, how do you introduce yourself?
Wow. How do I start? I'm a tribesman trying to be who I'm supposed to be.
Sick.
That's the easiest way, man. I'm a tribesman trying to be who I'm supposed to be, man.
Yo, what does that mean, G?
Oh, mate, the way I see it is when I'm out here, I'm trying to find people who belong in my tribe, innit? Like, that's it. Like, I'm not even talking about,
friends, man.
I ain't talking about skin color, nothing like that. I'm just talking about if you feel what I say, then you're in my tribe. It's that simple. And that's it, man. I'm trying to stay original, stay real, and not try to copy anyone, because there is pressure out there for an artist. Just be who I am and look for the people who feel what I'm walking through. That's it.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Unique Creation, so artist, producer.
Yeah. Wow. Director.
Founder of a company.
Yeah. Oh my days.
You've been at it for a minute.
Yeah. It's been a while, man. It feels like on my life, man.
Yeah. take us back to your early, like, I want to go further back, even before Christ, because I know you put out projects as a Christian, but before that, you were up to something, weren't you?
I used to be a battle MC, man. MC. I used to enter battle competitions and say the worst things you could think about. If it wasn't competition, it was on road. My aim was to be as disrespectful as possible, and I live for the hype. When I say a bar, and everyone goes nuts, I know I've done my job. And it's not even something that's helping anyone. It's to humiliate and destroy the guy in front of you, cut his head off. It's not about friendship. It's about using you to get the gas that I want. It's that simple. So it was to finish the man in front. Because I'm not about to be a moat to some next man. So I had to win. I had to win. And I used to be a grime MC, man. It was always grime. Before they called it grime, it was garage. Okay. So I used to, it was garage clashes, man. Either in school, outside school. I used to be in a clique of 12. A clique of 12 MCs, and yeah, man, just clashing anyone we could, because everyone was about clashing back then. Most of the time we're supposed to be in class. Nah, man, there's a clash. All right, let's go. I wrote new bars yesterday. Let's go. And it was just to say the worst thing. Sometimes this how bad it was. I'd be clashing in class. The teacher couldn't do anything. Yeah. Nobody was listening. So it was just so it was all about clashing, man.
100%, man. So you went from clashing, and then obviously there came a time where you're no longer clashing, are you? Are you still clashing now, then?
Oh, mate, I won't lie. I won't lie to you. Some days I want to write some. It's for the right and wrong reasons. It's coming from where I am now. But sometimes I do want to send people. Well, like, you need to relax.
I hear you, man. There's always a fire in you.
Yeah.
And especially like, I think last time I had an artist called Tom's, and I was talking about the cultural element that brings some kind of competition in us just because of the culture element. You know what I mean? From a guy that's actually lived there in the sense where you were part of a clashing clique.
Bro.
I remember clashing, but it was fun for me. I never really got into it like that. So I'm saying like that progression from that up until now, how do you like battle with maybe like that prideful element, that competition that's in there? How do you kind of like navigate through that?
It's that battle of knowing that there's always going to be a part of me that wants the glory. So it's like, I've just been real. There's always going to be a part of me that wants the glory.
Yeah, that's real.
And the easiest way is to finish a guy that's coming at you. It's easily rateable. It's like, when I'm writing, there's a lot of lyrics I won't put out because I write it and I look at it and think, no, this ain't right. Because I always remember why I'm doing it. I'm looking for my tribesmen. I believe, for me personally, I feel like I need to empower and strengthen the people that I'm a part of, the movement I'm a part of. At the same time, I also want to show people who don't, follow the same lifestyle, what it is to be a Christian. So it's more about sharing it out there. Like, yo, listen, when I'm walking on road, real talk, come on, man. The last thing people think when they look at me is Christian. Let's be real. I'm good looking. I'm very good looking. But let's be real. The last thing people think when they look at me is Christian. So it's like, I realize people don't know what the kingdom looks like. Even I had my own view. So it's just like, yo, man, this is real life. And this is, I'm in it because it did something good for me. So it's like, when I write, when I'm really putting down bars, I realize I have to make sure that, one, it gasses up my people. And at the same time, it lets the people who don't know about this life know that, yo, there's something here for you. You just have to pay attention.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's
it.
a dope mindset.
Yeah.
That's a dope mindset to have, man.
Try.
So, like, when did you come to faith? Like, when were you raised in that household, full of faith, full of music?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, my days. I grew up in a family of musicians, actors, singers. So I grew up in the arts, man. I remember I don't remember, my dad told me he bought me a keyboard because my dad's a musician. He signed a new deal a few years ago and he's still getting royalties from it. So it's like, yo, you can make a living off this. He bought me a keyboard and the first thing I did was pull out all the keys. I wrote the keyboard immediately. I was too young to know what it was. So as I grew older, I grew up in music, man. I was always around the studio. I used to sit behind my dad and watch him do gigs. I'd fall asleep in his keyboard when I was too tired, late at night. So I saw him on tour. I was with him. Sometimes he'll come to me because he had crowd pleasers.
That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah, man. Every artist had crowd pleasers.
Wait, who's your dad? For those people that are wondering, like.
Oh, well, hey, Tunchi Yolano, Google it.
Okay.
Google it. But he taught me what it really means to speak out for what you believe in. Because one, everyone looks to a strong person because deep down, everyone needs strength. So when they see strength, they follow strength. My dad got himself into a situation where he had to leave the country and he couldn't come back because the president at the time was trying to let him off. The story's all over.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen it about.
But yeah, man. So it's like I grew up in this. It's in my blood. So for me, it was very clear what I need to do. I did grow up in a Christian household, but it's like it was never forced on me. Just because I grew up in it doesn't mean I was doing my own thing, getting all the nonsense I shouldn't. Like stuff like I was supposed to be in uni in Luton, but the police called my dad, saying that I was drunk and disorderly in central London.
Oh wow. Stuff
like that. So I was just living a life. And eventually, I think I was 17 when I walked into church. And it didn't even look like a church. I'm like, is this a community center? You know when you expect suits and that, but you see kids in like do-rags and tracksuit, but I'm looking at it like, what is this, bro?
Yeah.
What is this? Just kids like me. It didn't make sense. But I sat down and then the pastor came to just talk to me for like 2 minutes. And then he said some stuff. And it felt like he was talking about my life. I felt like, is this guy stalking me? I doesn't know this stuff.
I hear that.
But yeah, from then I thought, you know what? No, there's something real here. So I just started coming back. And from there, my clashing skills started getting blood because I couldn't blaze people like I used to.
Wait, what was that encounter moment that make you say, you know what?
Man.
I'm gonna stop this clashing, or I'm gonna stop being drunkenly disorderly.
The drunk and disorderly, I just told myself this pain is too much, man. Drinking to that point where you can't breathe is just a lot of work, man. It's hard work. Ratings to the guys who can maintain it, I can't, bro. So for me, that was it. For me, it was just that. Like, one, drinking was more for, I don't know, I just did it because it was something to do with it. And but the Christian side was a long walk. It was a long walk.
I hear you, G.
I remember, even though I was in the church, I was iffy. There were some things that came off me quickly, but it took a long time for deeper things to come off. So it was like from 17, a lot of what the people were saying around me in church made sense. It made a lot of sense. So I started thinking, why am I talking about doing stuff you shouldn't do to people's moms? And stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it was like, yo, like, I actually don't want to do that to their mom. I'm just doing it to embarrass you so I can get gas. So I just started thinking differently from 17. And as my project, my mixtapes, everything, the competitions I used to enter, content started changing because I was about something else. The hardest part was writing about what I was about because I've been thinking negative and destructive for so long. So long. It was actually hard to start really living out or talking about what I was about.
Okay, I hear that, man. It's crazy because obviously I know where that comes from. Because when I listen to your music, it's very like personal, very introvert. There's a lot about yourself that is so transparent. You know what I mean?
Trying to be.
So what I'm gonna do is after I play a few more tracks, and we're gonna come back into a part 2 of this interview. You're listening to the Freedom Session show with myself, Freedom. I'm joining the studio with Unique Creation. Make sure you keep it locked right here on K2K Radio. Right about now, we have DJ Renz on the mix.
Freedom Session.